So we've had some questions tonight, and it's something I've also heard from many people as Awake has been surveying Catholics. And maybe Patrick, you can speak to this a little bit about the question is, why is the Catholic Church the focus of this investigation? And, some people would throw out there, well, so why not launch a statewide investigation into public schools or other institutions like the Scouts? And, you spoke a little bit to this, Janine, where the Attorney General has made clear that this investigation is open to it's into abuse by clergy and faith leaders of any religious tradition. So that opening is there, but it is true that it was the Catholic diocese and religious orders that received the invitation to the meeting and the request for documents. So, for those who have a question or concern about kind of that focus, Patrick, how would you respond to that? How would you speak to that?
So I think it's an important question, and I certainly understand the concern. I want to make a distinction between the investigating simply focusing on the Catholic Church and then sort of unfairly targeting the Catholic Church. So if we were to take a step back for a second, the Roman Catholic Church is the largest private provider of education in the United States. It's one of the largest private providers of hospital care and social services in the United States. There is simply a magnitude to Catholicism. And I don't know the demographics. I think I may be one of the few non-Wisconsinites, apart from the Fortney sisters in the room. But you'll know, just like as the Fortney sisters said, how Catholic state Wisconsin can be. And so there's a difference between, I think, the Attorney General focusing on the largest group of institutions in this category and unfairly targeting them. So unfairly targeting would be to say, as many people in this room may know, that in the 19th century, there was a ton of anti-Catholic bias. A lot of that anti-Catholic bias came out of suggestions that Catholicism was a religion that led to all sorts of sexual perversions and so on and so forth. I don't think that's what's happening here. I think what's happening here is a recognition not only that this is a place where, unfortunately, a lot of abuse has happened, but also a place where a lot of abuse has been concealed. And the mechanisms of the church themselves were pressed into the service of that concealment. And so I think part of the sort of systemic change that Janine was speaking to a few minutes ago, part of what could come out of this investigation are recommendations or requirements or whatever form they might take to prevent the concealment of abuse going forward. One of the sad truths of the human condition is that sexual abuse happens, but that doesn't mean that when it happens, it can't be dealt with. And I think the Roman Catholic Church, in a variety of ways, has failed historically at doing the work that needs to be done to be transparent, to reach out to victim survivors, and to move forward. And so it makes sense that the focus of the investigation be on the largest institution with this particular kind of history.
Janine, would you want to add anything to that in terms of?
Well, I mean, I agree with Patrick, but I want to point out something I think Patty said, which is, the representative God. The whole religious nature of abuse by people of faith and faith organizations. Survivors tell how things have absolutely changed in terms of their faith, their interaction with the church, their relationship with the family about faith. That somebody you trusted so with your faith and your soul violated it is so much more devastating than even other kinds of assaults. And a woman who left the church over this and was not abused said, I wasn't affected, I just lost my faith. And that's such a profound statement. And I think that's one of the reasons to really focus on religion, because the wounds are so very deep and multi-layered.